Your partner was surprised by the responsibilities that came with the decision to split. That's the narrative we're unfolding today. Enjoy watching it unfold. Jeff, it saddens me to say this, but I want a divorce. Despite being somewhat surprised, Jeff wasn't entirely unprepared. Their marriage had lasted almost 20 years, but recently Darlene had spent a lot of time talking to her friend and self-styled relationship expert, Miranda, who had experienced 3 divorces herself. Jeff, are you paying attention? I want a divorce. Yes, Dar, I'm paying attention. However, this matter is so serious that I'd rather not make a hasty reply. I've always strived to be as loving and dedicated a partner as possible, and I think I've been a good father. You've not mentioned any specific problems, so I'm at a loss about what's gone wrong. But hearing you out, I must say the thought of you being unhappy with me is unbearable. It breaks my heart, but I support your decision to part ways. Yet, could you clarify if this is a recent issue or something that's been building up? Darlene replied, yes, it's been accumulating. I'm looking for a bit of independence, a chance to explore, to meet new people. I understand the law requires us to live separately for 90 days once the divorce paperwork is filed. Perhaps I'll change my mind and decide to stay. It's possible we won't go through with the divorce, Jeff thought. This is similar to what I've heard from others about their divorces. During the 90-day separation, seeing other people isn't considered cheating. However, we both need to agree to stop the divorce proceedings. Still, either of us can proceed with the divorce without the other's consent. Jeff realized Darlene didn't understand that he would have the same rights as she did. I thought if I started the divorce, it would be my decision to either stay married or continue with the divorce. Darlene hesitated. Jeff argued, I don't think that's how it works, but just to be safe, I'll file as well so we're on equal footing. That's fair, right? I guess, Darlene replied hesitantly. Are you saying you want a divorce? Clearly, I was under the impression I was a good spouse, father, and partner. No, I'm not seeking a divorce, but I will not stand in the way of your happiness. I never said you were lacking. You were a wonderful husband, father, and partner. I just want to seek new experiences, meet new people. It might make me happier. I just need some time. Being legally separated will give me that freedom, Darlene. You're wanting more than I can give speaks to my inadequacies. He paused, then continued. Have you already found a lawyer and completed the paperwork? Ignoring his comment on feeling inadequate, she said, no, I haven't done the paperwork yet. I plan to use J.R. Lewis. He handled Miranda's divorces. Thus, Darlene revealed her source of inspiration for wanting more from their marriage. I'll probably have my cousin Sally to represent me. Sally, the tough one, Dar. I know you're not her biggest fan, but she's actually nice. Her reputation as a formidable lawyer comes with her job. She genuinely fights for her clients, men and women alike. Ironically, after the last family gathering, when she was a bit tipsy, Sally offered to manage my divorce for free. Wow, Jeff thought. There's a lot we need to talk about. I propose we spend the next 2 weeks preparing for our divorce. That way, we can start our separation at the beginning of next month. That sounds okay, though I might not fully understand why we need to do anything before the separation is over. Jeff explained, the purpose of the separation is to see what divorce feels like, to help us decide if we truly want to go through with it. It means the time apart should act as a trial for life after divorce. Otherwise, we won't learn anything until it's too late. It can get very complicated. Does that make sense? Maybe I hadn't seen it from that angle. Darlene's resolve began to wane. Let's go to the kitchen, grab a notebook, and start planning everything we need to do. I'll make the coffee with that. Jeff got out of bed and headed to the kitchen, leaving Darlene to think things over. When Darlene entered the kitchen, Jeff was already making coffee and scribbling on a pad. All right, he began, with so many factors to consider, it's tough to know where to start. Let's first talk about the kids. What are your thoughts? It's crucial that we tell them about the situation, ensuring we're on the same page so they don't feel responsible for our separation. Darlene began to fret. Their 2 girls were extremely sensitive and might not take the news well. Why do we have to divulge so much? Couldn't we just hold off for 90 days, and perhaps it won't be necessary to explain anything? But sweetheart, what will you say when they wonder why Daddy isn't staying here or where you are? We're still going to be their parents. I assumed you'd remain in the house during our split, and maybe we could still do activities together without altering the children's schedule that seems unwise. To begin, it means we'd have to align our plans. If one of us has a date and it's inconvenient for the other, it might cause disputes. There's a chance we'd accuse each other of hindering our dating lives. More critically, how can we adapt to life post-divorce if we continue as before? Besides, the children might overhear or learn from someone else that we've been spotted with someone new. We need to tell not just our girls but also all our relatives and friends to clear up any potential accusations of unfaithfulness. What worries me the most is that the children may still think they're to blame despite how we frame it. Regrettably, based on child psychology insights, preventing kids of divorcing parents from feeling at fault is difficult. Our approach must be clear and underscore our affection for them. They're wonderful children, and with time they'll probably adjust, though professional help might be beneficial. They could enjoy having additional grandparents from your future partner and mine, extra gifts for birthdays and other celebrations. Still, we must plan carefully for events like birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Managing with only one set of grandparents is already a task. Moreover, if I remain in our home, you'd have to meet your man either at his place or a decent hotel. It's not right for either of us to have romantic visitors over while the other is present with the children. Furthermore, we need to figure out what this means for our finances with two homes. Obviously, this will mean we have less money available since we're adding my flat's rent and utilities to our existing expenses. You will have to adjust to handling and overseeing all the financial responsibilities and chores that we presently divide, which I've been managing for our household. Typically, assets are divided equally, indicating we'll have to terminate any shared bank accounts, savings, credit cards, and then move on to arrange for child support and spousal maintenance. There's a hefty amount of work to be done before everything is finalized. Wow, Darlene was caught off guard, momentarily speechless. Jeff continued, I plan to look for a flat closer to my job. This arrangement will provide the girls a place to stay when they come over. In most separations, the parent who doesn't live with the children is entitled to see them every weekend and on alternating significant holidays, unless agreed otherwise for more visits. Jeff, I assumed you'd be eager to start seeing someone new, Darlene said. They have homework, sports, drama, and other pursuits they're engaged in. It appears you and the kids cherish these times a lot. I intend to stay as involved in their activities as possible. Yet you and whoever you might should be ready to assume some of my duties. Coming over on school evenings will be hard for them as they prefer their home environment because of school the next morning. If I start seeing someone, she might have kids of her own who need help with schoolwork and after-school activities. Similarly, you might find yourself assisting your new partner with his kids. This means we'll have to juggle clothing and personal items across two homes, tackle the issue of school transportation if my new place isn't near a bus route for their school, and manage the general upheaval to their daily life. This transition won't be easy for either of us. This scenario is not unfolding as Darlene had been assured by Miranda, who had anticipated that upon hearing the word divorce her husband would immediately give in, continuing to contribute financially to their shared life while permitting her the liberty to pursue relationships with others. This situation is quickly slipping from my control. This is quite shocking, Jeff. I need some time to think. Let's continue this conversation tomorrow. I'm heading to sleep, she expressed, hoping he would join her and thus provide an opportunity to convince him to back down without taking on the responsibility of dividing their assets and finances. Apologies, my dear, but I need to note down some things before heading to bed. You understand how I think the sooner we address these issues, the better we'll feel. Good night, my love. Darlene found sleep elusive, keen to seek Miranda's advice regarding Jeff's unexpected reaction, holding on to the belief that Miranda would have a contingency plan. This faint hope eventually lulled her into sleep. Upon waking and starting her day, she was immediately struck by Jeff's absence from their bed. Incredible, this man must have been up all night sorting through the divorce documents, she mused. Yet Jeff was not in the kitchen, only a notebook was found on the table. A check in the guest room revealed her husband in a deep slumber. She went back to start her breakfast, flipping through the notebook. In a section labeled Financial Adjustments, it detailed the mortgage, homeowners insurance, and utility expenses such as gas, water, electricity, cable, cell phone service, waste disposal, internet security, car installments, car insurance, health and dental coverage, Amazon Prime, LifeLock, LifeFlight, medical bills, and other financial changes mentioned the night before. The next page presented his estimated living expenses in the new apartment and a budget forecast for the child support needed to sustain her and their daughter's lifestyle, indicating a deficit of several $100s a month. He also compiled a list of potential cost-cutting measures. Jeff would need to skip his cherished outings to Waffle House and Starbucks, leading to significant discomfort. She couldn't help but smile, noting this also included her gym membership, the women's group she was part of, and limiting dining out to once a week. He meticulously accounted for various children-related expenses, such as activities, fees, uniforms, and other necessary items. The impact on the children hadn't been factored into her plans for separation. On another page, he listed chores for Darlene to manage, including car refueling, maintenance, contacting mechanics, plumbers and HVAC services, lawn mowing, car cleaning, and grocery shopping, among others. She had to put the notebook aside. Why can't Jeff just comply and give me what I want? I need to call Miranda before Jeff awakes. Hello, Miranda, it's Darlene. We have to speak quietly because Jeff is sleeping right here. What happened last night? Miranda's response was filled with excitement, eager for a positive update from Darlene. Instead of seeking ways to better the situation to prevent me from leaving, he agreed to the divorce and started listing all the responsibilities he handles that I would need to take on if we went through with it. Jeff plans to rent an apartment and take care of the daughters only on weekends. He's proposing we actually separate and live as though we're divorced to make a more informed decision on whether to finalize the divorce after 90 days. He doesn't seem deterred by the prospect of divorce. What should I do? Don't worry, darling, he's just bluffing. He's pretending there's no way he'll follow through with any official paperwork. It's sad he needs to enumerate all the small tasks he does to make you think you rely on him more than you do. Remember, you have leverage with the children and your own autonomy. These are the only things that will keep him in check. This is all just talk. Don't worry, you and Robert will soon be intimately involved, and you'll retain a husband and a home. I hope you're right, and Robert is worth this trouble. Well, Jeff hasn't made a move yet. I'll stand my ground until I'm sure of his intentions. Thanks, Miranda. He's waking up. I have to go. Hey, Jeff, want some coffee? Darlene asked nervously. Her husband ambled towards the coffee maker, commenting having coffee late was a mistake. I hardly slept. Why didn't you come to bed? I thought about it, but hesitated. What are you suggesting, my love? Seeing you sleep without clothes on awakened my desires. To me, you remain the epitome of beauty. My worry is that any intimacy from your side might stem from pity, aiming to soothe my anguish about the idea of divorcing. I feared my inability to hold back. My love, our marriage bond persists. I am yours entirely, at least till our parting becomes formal. Could we not maintain our marital roles until then? Regrettably, I am more persuaded than before that we must initiate living apart right away, even if the official separation is delayed until the month's beginning. The separation effectively took place the instant you voiced your dissatisfaction. It will pose a challenge for me, yet my sincere desire is for your happiness, even without me playing a pivotal role in your life. Jeff, you often overlook that this separation is provisional. A divorce isn't inevitable. Just be patient, allow me the space to find myself, and I believe we'll stay married. Better than ever, she explained. If only I could believe that. I chose to stay in today. Billy will handle the maintenance teams in the daytime, allowing me to work on resolving our separation issues. This arrangement will start from next month, giving us 90 days to experience a trial separation as if we were divorced. In this period, I plan to withdraw a substantial sum of money. We need to depend on cash until we obtain separate credit and debit cards. Luckily, we both hold individual checking accounts besides our joint primary account. I will evenly split the joint account's funds into our personal accounts. It's vital we act swiftly to ensure we receive our new cards and checks by next month's start. This evening, I'll discuss the measures I've taken and the steps you need to take to secure your portion of the assets. Also, hurry up so you're not late for work. I'll prepare breakfast for the kids and take them to school. Darlene was ineffective in her role as an office manager at a local insurance firm. Robert, who frequently made such visits, used his charm, his tall stature, dark, wavy hair, and a smile that had women eagerly catching his attention to flatter Darlene about her allure and unrecognized value. Wondering when they could once again share a musical moment, Darlene, feeling uneasy, reassured him they would find a moment for relaxation soon, promising to call him by the elevator as he left. Her worry about distancing from Jeff shifted back to fond memories of close encounters with Robert in the brief elevator rides since his arrival months ago. Upon her return home, Darlene sensed Jeff's daytime presence and felt stronger emotionally to tackle the financial plans he suggested. It seemed simple, a 90-day period to live freely, stay married, then figure out how to continue her affair with Robert discreetly. At the kitchen table, she reviewed her notebook. Jeff had added several notes. Then, a list titled Potential Women for Today caught her attention, with names divided into those interested and those curious about the interest. The list wasn't long, but seeing her sister Erica's name among the interested shocked her. Calling her a betrayer, Darlene immediately phoned her. "Hey Dar, it's Erica. Everything all right? How dare you?" "Consider taking my husband," she accused. Confused, Erica replied, "What do you mean?" "Jeff just listed those who've shown interest, including your name." Erica admitted to a drunken jest about taking Darlene's place should she leave, wondering if this revealed marital troubles. "That's beside the point," Darlene snapped back, having already expressed to Jeff her desire for space to explore new relationships. Interrupting, Erica speculated about Darlene's interest in another. "I haven't been seeing anyone. Jeff and I are testing a 90-day separation, after which we'll decide our marital future," Darlene clarified, dismissing Erica's speculation about her motives. Erica suggested that the upcoming legal separation might open opportunities for those interested in Jeff, leaving Darlene without a say. "Inform me about the date, and I assure you, right after the clock strikes 12, I will show my readiness for an encounter and unequivocally convey that my body is entirely available for his use in any way he wishes, highlighting my distinction from my sister by dedicating myself to him for life. You ought to maintain a distance from him, or else what? If you have initiated divorce proceedings, you are at a disadvantage, especially since you were the one to file for it. Over the years, you have lauded his ability to provide, his characteristics as a spouse and father, and most importantly, his prowess as a lover, yet now you contemplate abandoning all that. How can you afford to be so careless? Has wisdom deserted you recently? As I mentioned, alert me the moment he is free. This is the only time in our lives when I will gladly accept help from an older sister. Goodbye." After ending the call, Darlene tried to calm herself, yet the list of women did not alleviate her worries. She saw Jenny, his secretary, a young, single mother who was strikingly beautiful, but much younger than Jeff by nearly 20 years. Still, she was at the top of the list, indicating her interest in dating her husband, probably looking for a financial benefactor for her and her child. The list also featured another woman, likely married, indicated by the M next to her name, and 2 other women from Jeff's office. Darlene noticed several other local women on the list. Jeff was known to offer his help in the community. Despite having a degree in psychology, he chose physical work during his college years, enjoying it and later growing his business to manage 3 teams. It appeared he might have been inspecting not just the plumbing in their homes, but possibly showing interest in these women. 2. The list included 3 women identified solely by their occupations: a waitress at Waffle House, a barista at Starbucks, and a clerk at Walmart. Darlene wondered how many more might find him as charming as Erica did. She had not expected Jeff to start dating during their separation, yet it seemed he might already have someone in mind. Upon arriving home, Jeff found his wife looking through a notebook, bracing for the ensuing conversation. "Jeff, it looks like you've quickly looked for my replacement," Darlene noted, taken aback by her sister's involvement. "How could you? I was just trying to keep up with you in finding a new companion." "What do you mean?" "I don't have a companion, I'm just exploring new relationships and Robert Turner. How do you know of Robert Turner, and what do you intend with him?" "Today at Walmart I ran into Sylvia, your boss's assistant, on her lunch break. She's notorious for gossiping. I'd be wary of taking her words at face value." After a brief silence, Darlene probed further, leading to the disclosure that Sylvia had mentioned Robert Turner, hinting at a close relationship due to frequent visits to his wife's office and shared meals. Darlene made it clear, stressing their company's strict policy against fraternization, that Robert was just an old college acquaintance, dismissing any suggestions of impropriety, yet she admitted to potentially being interested in dating him because of his kind words and attention, even when she wasn't feeling her best. The expression on her face spoke volumes. More importantly, did you both partake in activities his wife would find objectionable? "Wife? He isn't married. Who told you he was? What kind of person do you think I am?" "Clearly, you're not keen on the men you meet. Now, let's open his Facebook page. That's my source." After a moment on the computer, Jeff asked, "Is this Robert Turner?" "Yes." "What does his profile say about his marital status?" "It shows that he is married to Cynthia and has 2 his sons." Trying to find an excuse, Darlene suggested, "Maybe that's old news. He could be divorced by now. Check again. Profile updated 3 days ago. Don't you think he would mention something as important as his marital status? And look at what his wife posted recently, the boys, and I can't wait to be with Robert after the school year ends. Johnny and Robert Jr. are crucial to their high school baseball team and might make it to the state finals. We plan to reunite with family right after the term or later if they proceed to the state finals. I swear, he never said he was married. I would never intentionally interfere in someone's marriage, yet it appears you're willing to risk your own marriage." A pause ensued. Darlene realized she was in a predicament. She needed time to think. Robert was a key reason for her wanting a separation, but she could not let Jeff find out. "Well, he was just one among many men I'd consider dating. I can make a list, just as you did." Good heavens, it just dawned on me something crucial. If we decide to continue our marriage post-separation, exchanging our health reports to ensure neither of us has sexually transmitted infections is essential. At the moment, you're acting disgustingly. Just being cautious. I hadn't really considered dating since it might be a temporary arrangement for 90 days. However, if I'm looking for intimacy, finding a woman with questionable morals wouldn't be difficult. I'm sure you would value our safety just as much. It's important to remember, but it's not just about us, it's about those we become involved with, their past partners and beyond. Jeff managed to hide his agreement with the proposal while Darlene felt enraged. Changing the subject, Jeff assured, "Okay, Dar, I'll let you know today what steps I've taken towards our separation. There are several tasks ahead, mainly setting up individual banking and credit accounts. The priority is to ensure you have easy access to your money. Arrangements for the mortgage, bills, and so forth can be handled next week. Also, I have some good financial news. Did I tell you that my assistant Jenny works part-time as a night manager at the Royal Arms? Since it's close to our office, I asked about available apartments, and they have a 2-bedroom available. I need to move quickly. It's usually beyond our price range, but she mentioned a maintenance job at the building could cut the rent by half. This would mean more money for you and the children. You haven't signed any lease yet, right? Remember, we have 90 days, and there's a chance you might come back here." She was about to comment on his assistant's advantage-taking, but chose not to, understanding it would only worsen the situation. "No, I haven't completed any lease agreements. However, I needed to discuss my housing needs. They normally don't provide leases by the month, but since it's a 90-day situation, she thought an exception could be made. When she heard about our divorce, Jenny suggested I should date her. The age difference and all was unexpected. I didn't think she would be interested. I told her I was honored, but our workplace rules prevent anything beyond a professional relationship between employees and their supervisors. Jenny said she might consider leaving her job for a secretarial position elsewhere, which is why I brought it up. Darlene was seething but chose to remain silent, knowing her words would only make things worse if spoken. Jeff continued without waiting for Darlene's response. The other piece of news is something you'll likely appreciate. I've booked a 10-day vacation to Hawaii. I hesitated to share it since it was meant to be a surprise for our 20th anniversary. Darlene's mood instantly improved. Hawaii? Oh, Jeff, you know how much I've longed to visit. This is incredible. I'm so excited to unwind on the beach and explore the ocean. Thank you, however, Jeff's expression didn't reflect his wife's enthusiasm. We're not going to Hawaii. When you brought up divorce, I assumed our 20th anniversary wouldn't happen. Attempting to cancel the reservation, I was informed that at this late stage, only a 20% refund was possible. Yet, I thought the trip was still a dream worth pursuing. I changed the tickets for you and someone else of your choosing. It could be a splendid start to your new life, offering a companion a fully paid trip to Hawaii, but Jeff, my wish was to experience Hawaii with you. Perhaps we could postpone our separation. Actually, I've been rethinking the whole divorce after some self-reflection. I realized I'm not as discontent as I believed. I'm sorry, Dar. After much consideration, the idea of going through divorce again in the future, even if you call it off now, wouldn't make me happy. The things you've said you wanted, and my doubts about you and Robert, even when you said it was nothing, can't be undone. The divorce seems inevitable regardless of your choice, despite not being able to picture life without you or seeing our daughters only part-time. Jeff then went to the guest room. Darlene, feeling devastated, realized Miranda was the only one she could confide in. She reached out to her. Hey there, Darlene. How's everything? Miranda, it's all come crashing down. Jeff has secured an apartment, and his lean assistant is taking an interest in him. My sister, too, is eyeing him. The real kicker is that he had planned a Hawaii trip for our anniversary, and now he's handed me the tickets, insisting I go without him. He suggested I bring my new partner along. What's the problem? You and Robert will have a blast soaking up the sun, enjoying yourselves and getting close. Actually, I found out Robert is married, with his family moving here shortly. Hawaii is off the table for me with him. Jeff was my first choice. Hold on. Something just clicked, Miranda said sharply. Jeff's playing a deeper game than I thought. He's acting as if he booked the vacation ages ago, trying to make you feel bad and second-guess the separation. But don't fret with your stunning looks. Finding someone on par or better than Robert won't be an issue, and you'll manage to keep your marriage and family intact. I had no clue he could stoop so low. He's going to pay for this. Thanks, Miranda. I was close to giving in. He'll definitely regret it. We'll catch up later. When Jeff appeared with his luggage. Oh, putting on a show of moving out already? No loss, honestly. I intended to grab a few things for the apartment, so I don't overwhelm the girls with too much at once. Jenny said I could start moving stuff since the apartment's ready. You seem different from our last conversation. Let me guess, Miranda's been filling your head. You should consider a professional counselor if you're serious about saving our marriage. Miranda's expertise is in divorces. That's her track record. And stop trying to undermine Miranda. She's been a great support. She was right about you and the Hawaii ticket scheme. You created that scenario just to pressure me into giving everything up. It's not going to work. I'm still set on the divorce and looking forward to it. There are plenty of men out there ready to give me what I need indeed, especially regarding the men after you. I've never doubted you'd attract a lot of attention once available. I've always felt incredibly lucky to have someone as beautiful as you, a great parenting partner, and until recently a loyal wife and friend. But you've got the wrong idea about the Hawaii trip, and I can prove it. Just a call to Lois Simpson at Flight Right Travel Agency, who booked our holiday. I'm calling you Lois. This is Jeff Sinclair again, and my wife is listening in. Could you explain the trip details to her? Hi, Jeff. I'm so sorry to hear you won't be going. It looked like you really wanted to surprise your wife with a wonderful vacation. What can I help you with, Mrs. Sinclair? I need exact details about this supposed trip, insisted Darlene. It's a 10-day getaway to 2 islands, including stays at our most cherished hotel, all meals, transportation, hula classes, luau, tiki shows, surfing, swimming, dancing, all wrapped in a romantic setting. Having joined my husband a few times, it truly did wonders for us. When exactly did my husband book this vacation? Darlene was sure this would reveal the fraud. Let me verify. According to my records, he first inquired about 3 months back, chose this package 2 months ago, and completed the payment a fortnight later. He called yesterday to cancel and get a refund. Unfortunately, I could only give back 20%. I was quite moved when he decided to keep the booking, hoping you'd find someone else to go with. That speaks volumes about the kind of man he is. You're really fortunate. Any more questions? I need to know the name of the person joining me as soon as possible. Actually, I can't book the flights until I have that name. No more questions for now. I'll get back to you soon with the name. Darlene pondered how Miranda would interpret this revelation. Shortly after, she came to the realization, you think you've outsmarted me again, right? You made a pact with Lois to pretend you were organizing a trip to Hawaii just before I brought up the topic of divorce, but I've outwitted you this time. She was satisfied with herself for figuring it out without needing Miranda's input. Jeff took a deep breath and suggested, talk to your folks. How do my parents fit into this? She questioned. Guess who's supposed to take care of the kids while we're gone? I'll give them a call. No need for you to bother. Just give me some space to think. Sorry, Da. I'm already on it yet. Jeff had already started the call, with her mother answering, recognizing the caller ID. Darlene, how are the kids? So nice to hear from you. Hey, Mum, Darlene greeted softly. Hey, Mum, Jeff here. We're on speakerphone. Just a sec. I'll fetch Dad too. In the background, Darlene and Jeff heard. Harold, Darlene and Jeff heard. Harold, Darlene and Jeff are calling. Love, come take the phone. Hello, what's going on? Asked Harold, chiming in as Darlene stayed quiet. Jeff took the lead. Darlene is caught on. No need to conceal it anymore. We're truly disappointed you can't join us. You didn't explain why when you called earlier. We're just hoping it's not a medical concern. Learning we wouldn't be watching the girls because you two weren't proceeding with your Hawaii trip was disappointing, especially since we were excited for the 10 days with them. It saddened us for Darlene that she would have to go without you. Have you decided who you'll take instead? Darlene, it's going to be hard for whoever remains, said her mother. No, Mom, I haven't decided yet. When did Jeff bring up the Hawaii trip to you? Not sure. Harold, remember? It was around the holidays, right? Pretty sure he mentioned it a couple of months back, wanting to make sure we were prepared with plenty of snacks. Those kids can eat so much and stay slim, Darlene's mother added. Is Darlene okay? Why do you ask? Did something happen when Jeff talked to you? Oh no, did you guys split up? Darlene clarified. No, Mom, not exactly. We sort of agreed we needed a break, some time apart to refresh our bond, and then maybe come back together. Da, I can't lie to your parents. They've always been honest with me, Mom. Harold, Darlene revealed last Sunday evening I mentioned wanting a separation. The call went quiet as Darlene tried to amend. That's not exactly what I meant. The first step is a 90-day separation. I wanted this time to find myself, explore new interests, improve as a person so I can be a better partner and mother. That's my daughter speaking, exclaimed. I know an excuse when I hear one. Darlene, is there someone else? No, Dad, definitely not, Darlene reassured. Jeff was about to speak but stopped himself. Harold, with his wife's sighs in the background, pressed on. I can't believe you'd do this. We raised you better. I'm deeply disappointed. Don't expect us to embrace your new partner. Darlene, we're so sorry, Jeff. But, promise us you'll let us see our grandchildren after the divorce. Darlene, now crying, interjected before Jeff could respond. Jeff's portrayal was overstated. I take back my words. No divorce, no separation. I'll ring you back once we've settled down. Jeff looked at Darlene, who was in tears. You need to pull yourself together. The kids will be home soon. He then moved towards the door, pulling the suitcase. Where are you going? Didn't you hear? I don't want a divorce. There's no need for you to leave. Darlene, you decided on a divorce without consulting me. Now you're trying to retract it on your own because it's not going your way. You fail to realize I have a voice in this. After what happened last week, I'm not sure calling off the divorce is smart. I'll get a sleeping bag from the garage and spend the night in the apartment. Jeff, wait. I'm sorry, you were supportive until I mentioned divorce. Is it possible to ignore the situation and return to the way things used to be? You said you were happy. Indeed, I was content, yet your expressed dissatisfaction and intentions to engage romantically with Robert cannot be ignored. As I've previously mentioned, the betrayal has already occurred. Sally has indicated that preparing the divorce paperwork should be straightforward due to the standard nature of the case. She could have them ready by tomorrow. I refuse to sign them, declared Darlene with conviction. That doesn't matter. The only requirement is that you are formally served. She could do this at your place of employment to ensure there are multiple witnesses, and perhaps even Robert might bring a lawsuit for alienation of affection. Actually, I could even inform your employer about the violation of company policies, although that would be going too far. What I need from you is to be present for our children after the divorce. I will simply talk to Robert's wife. That should be enough for revenge. Why do you have to act so spitefully? I love you, and you love me. Is there no way to make things right? You've said that divorce would be hard on both of us. Wouldn't you rather avoid that difficulty? I promise never to bring up this issue of divorce again. Please stay, and let's work it out. Tears flowed from Darlene's eyes as Jeff stood still and silent. Marlene felt she had made an impact. I commit to being the best wife I can be. I will not look at another man. I gave you nearly 2 decades of a strong marriage, 2 wonderful children, supported your ventures, even when it meant you came home late and disorganized. I am genuinely proud of your successes. Everyone makes mistakes. Please give me another chance. Eventually, Jeff spoke. Here's my plan. I'll pack a bag and a sleeping bag and move to the apartment temporarily. I need you to write down a few things. Your actions and words have hurt me more than you might realize. If your answers align with what I am looking for, I will consider either calling off or at least postponing the divorce. I'll be back by 7. It might be best to have the children stay with their grandparents or friends so we can speak freely. Yes, thank you. Where do I begin? First, I expect an apology for starting this mess, and I want you to beg for my forgiveness, not just ask, but genuinely beg. Secondly, you must tell Robert to stop all communication with you. If he persists, what will you tell your husband? Inform him that I am ready to take legal action against him and your company if he does not comply. Third, I need you to list every reason why you think I should consider staying in this marriage. Finally, I demand that you call Miranda and tell her explicitly that you want no further contact with her. This issue is not up for negotiation. Should I ever hear Miranda's name from you again, I will leave without a second thought. Do you understand my conditions? If you want our marriage to have a chance, yes, my dear, I do. I will adhere to all your requests and be ready by 7. All right, see you then. Jeff picked up his luggage and left. Darlene started with the final point on her list, rehearsing her conversation with Miranda. Engaging with you was the biggest mistake I've made. Your influence nearly lost me everything dear to me. Do not reach out, do not call, email, or even think of contacting me. If we see each other in public, leave immediately, or I cannot guarantee my restraint. Darlene experienced a sense of relief after confronting Miranda. She then informed Robert as Jeff had instructed, enduring his pleas for another rendezvous at the motel, and his unfounded allegations about her fidelity was trying. Nevertheless, she silenced him by stating her husband would reach out to his wife if he caused any further trouble. The task she thought would be most difficult, compiling reasons why Jeff should want to continue their marriage, turned out to be the easiest. Free from wanting anything beyond what she had with Jeff, she was able to reflect on all the joy in their life together. Darlene was able to, always, create a comprehensive list. This should impress Jeff, she thought. She had no trouble asking for his forgiveness for the deceit surrounding their separation. How senseless, self-centered, and arrogant I was. Never again, she resolved. By then, Darlene felt ready and filled with confidence, although she became slightly anxious when Jeff had not arrived by 7 o'clock. 5 minutes had passed when he emerged without his bags. Darlene noticed his facial expression hadn't altered from when he left earlier in the day. She aimed to approach the situation with as much kindness and humility as she could muster. These are my answers. I hope you'll think it over, Darlene said. Jeff examined the document thoroughly as he read through it. Tears began to form in his eyes as he read. Darlene, seeing him cry, also started to cry, interpreting his tears as a sign of hope. "This is deeply touching, Dar," he said. Hope filled her heart, and she moved to hug him, but he gestured for her to remain seated. "What you have here is admirable, yet I doubt you fully understand the depth of hurt you've caused. I'm afraid I have to go ahead with the divorce, Jeff," stated. Darlene felt her world collapse. It felt as though her heart had been thrown to the floor. She fell apart, crying inconsolably, her grief reaching new depths. Amidst her despair, she cried out, "I've ruined my family's happiness. I am the worst person alive. I don't deserve to live. How could I have been so foolish?" Jeff kneeled down to her, softly saying, "Now you see how I felt." As Darlene continued to cry on the floor, he moved towards the door, stopped, and turned back to look at her. "I suppose we're allowed to see other people during our separation. Aren't we?" Struggling through her tears to answer. She was too overwhelmed to speak. "Well, if we can date others, what are your plans this Friday night? How about dinner and a movie?" "You're asking me on a date?" Darlene asked. "Yes, it seems we've completely broken down what we had, but maybe there's a chance to start something new," Jeff responded. Darlene leapt up and rushed towards Jeff. "Absolutely, yes, 1,000,000 times yes. If you were in your partner's position, would you agree to give it another try? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Catch you in the next video.